Hey YouTube, this is Orion making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. This is my overview of the Tops Power Eagle-12. This is the old model. This is the 5160 version. They do have a new version that's in 1095, but this is the old version. The Tops Power Eagle 12 is a single-edged hybrid kukri bolo heavy chopper. Features a full tang with a tan canvas micarta handle, but it does have various options from Tops. This is the sheath, but I'll talk about it later. Features 5160 spring steel. I'm sorry, it's such a big knife, I can't fit it in the frame very well, so most of the shots are going to be down lower here, but I will come up and give you a full view of the knife as I go. Features 5160 spring steel with no advertised HRC. I will put the rest of the stats in the bottom of the description bar as per usual. These knives do come with the ALRT knife and a Tops whistle. I no longer have the ALRT knife. I ended up giving it away in a deal that when I was selling a knife off, and I included it with it. I wasn't very impressed with the ALRT knife. It just didn't suit me. So that was... I got rid of it. The Tops whistle has been included in the sheath, so it is in there somewhere. I'm not going to take the contents of the sheath out, and I do have a full list, but I'm not going to go through the list of contents of the sheath either here in this review or overview here. It features a full flat grind on the blade. There's a close-up of the blade. I have wrapped the blade in camo form, mainly to fit. I did find here it went down, chopped down here. So there it is in the hammer grip. I found it very skinny here. So I built it up with camo form, and like most of these handles, they do transfer a lot of vibration through. So I like, with my choppers, I tend to put camo form on everything because it does dampen the handle a lot of the vibrations. So that's why I put the camo form on there, and it works very well. I love camo form for that reason, and I built it up and formed it up so that it's perfectly fits my hand there now. And as you can see in the hammer grip, the handle gives you plenty of room on there. These do come with a shock cord lanyard. They were functionally useless. It was pathetic. There are other lashing points here, and they basically went there and you slipped your hand in around there. It was supposed to retain it on there. They were useless. I opted for a thumb loop. You just loop up like that, and I think with all these big choppers, you need to have this on here. They are dangerous without a lanyard on these choppers. If you don't have a lanyard and it slips out of your hand, they basically become a 2-pound projectile, and you're either going to fire it into someone, a spectator, or it'll slip and cut you. So it's second nature now to me to loop up. And once I loop up like that, the knife is secure and you're not going to have a problem with it. Okay, I've talked about wrapping the handle. The pros for this knife is it is quite simply one of the best choppers I have ever found. I've put this up against, I've owned several, like tens of different choppers, and this one chops amongst the best I have ever found, and that's because of the flat grind. It's thin behind the edge and it bites so deeply in, and the way it's set up, it just chops. It's a paragon chopper. It is among the best choppers I have ever found. They just got onto what I consider one of the best choppers that I have ever found, and I haven't found its peer. Like, I haven't found a chopper that has been able to exceed the Power Eagle's ability to chop. And I'd put it up against any other chopper of its size and know that this one would stay with it. And that's including competition choppers, whatever. But it's a little bit different because competition choppers are only 10 inches long. This one's a full 12-inch blade. So it's a bit harder. Plus, they tend to be a little bit thicker. These ones are only a quarter inch. I say only a quarter of an inch. Well, the competition, if I can say it properly, competition choppers can go out to 3/8 or thicker. So, they can be 8 mil thick, and with their flat grinds, the way they go, with their grinds and that, they can be, they have advantages that this one just doesn't have. They may be able to exceed this one, but for what this is and the way it goes, I haven't been able to find one that can exceed this one's ability to chop. Now, when they swapped it over to the new one, they put a saber grind on it and changed it over to 1095 steel. As far as I'm concerned, that was silly because the saber grind thickened it up, the behind the edge measurement, and the 5160 steel is tough enough, is renowned for being very, very tough. And I like 1095, but I think the 5160 was a better choice personally for this application. So I don't know why Tops did that, and I'm glad I got the older version. So yeah, and with this black baked on coating, you can take it off. I've seen ones that have had it removed. My old man's got 2 of these. He removed the coating off one and kept the coating on another. As you can see, mine's had a fair bit of work. The coating's been buffed, been smoothed off. I have used this one fairly hard. The coating does wear a little, slow it down a little bit, but I haven't really seen the difference between the two when you're chopping. So I don't worry about it really. It's use it and abuse it, and they are a tough knife. They you can flog the living piss out of these, and they just don't. They just come back for more. I have no fear of using and abusing this knife, and it is just a tough user knife, and that I can't speak highly enough. If I had to choose one knife, and I say this without fear, this would be the one I'd take out in the bush. If I had to choose one knife and just know, like for the heavy chopper category, this would be the one I'd take. It's that good. It is quite simply my favourite large chopper. It is fantastic, and I know it's a big recommendation, and if you can get your hands on the original 5160 version, I'd say buy one. Now, I did buy this one when they were running at around $200, so I don't know how much they are on the secondary market now. I did see that I think Global Gear had a few of them a while back, but they were getting quite expensive for the original versions, and I don't know what the newer versions are. But if you can see an original version and they are cheaper, like running around the $200 mark, I'd pay $200 for these easily. Anyway, back to the cons. The sheath. Yeah, I went stupid with the sheath. I wanted it to be a one-stop option. Like, I grab this sheath with this knife and be able to know it is my survival knife. That was my idea with the sheath. So I added enough gear on it so that I could just grab this knife and know that I could go out and have everything on it so that I could survive with it. So basically I built a survival kit onto it. You'll also notice I did add another knife on here. I put a Falkniven WM-1 on here as well. So it is actually got two knives on there. It's a big knife, so little tasks are no good. This one perfectly suits the smaller tasks, so that's why I put that knife on there. The shock cord, I've got a little bit of shock cord on there, which is a little bit problematic, but anyway, it just fits in there, and yeah, that sits in there, perfectly suits that there. I've got paracord, I've got a little tops saw in there, I've got matches, I've got a collapsible water container, I've got that much gear on there. There's a fair bit of fire in there, and a lighter at the end here, cordage, signal mirror, all sorts of stuff in there. I've got a whole list of, I have got a list of gear in there. It's all on there. Now, the sheath itself could have been improved. It's not the greatest of sheaths. It's adequate, but not the best. So that I do put it as a con. It's the plastic liner is starting to break up inside there. So it's not the best one that they could have done, but it works to a point. But I would have preferred maybe a Kydex bit with some pouches attached, like a couple of molly pouches attached to it, and that would have been a better option. But I think they were doing it to a price point, so that's why they did it this way. But anyway, I set this up as a baldric sort of situation, so it you undo this, and it sits basically at my hip, and that's how it works. So that's the sheath setup. I don't want to talk about it much more. It's adequate, but room for improvement. The other cons was the shock cord lanyards were functionally useless. Cut them off, piss them off. Then they're no good. Just go with the basic thumb loop paracord lanyard, because I think every large chopper should have them. You just loop up and away you go, and that's it. So that's my overview of the Power Eagle-12 kukri bolo hybrid. All I can say is it's probably my favourite large chopper. In conclusion, as I said, if I had to choose one knife that I would bet my life on, this would be the one I would choose. If I had to take one knife out into the bush as a survival knife, this would be the one I'd choose, because this is what I consider a survival knife. It's a one-stop option for me. I know it is a big knife, and I make no apology. I like larger knives. I think you can do a lot of things with a larger knife, and if you have to, you can choke up on it and still do a lot of things that you can't do with a little knife. But with the option, with just that one little addition of a little knife, I've got everything covered. But anyway, starting to ramble a little bit. Sorry for that. But anyway, that's my overview of probably my favourite large knife, large survival knife. That's basically what it is, a large survival knife. The Tops Power Eagle-12, old version, the 5160 version. Anyway, thanks for watching.